President Obama addressed the abortion issue in his commencement speech at University of Notre Dame this weekend, and that drew boycotts and protests of his pro-choice stance, and some of them weren't quiet about it, okay? The protesters, they made a little noise. Check it out.
You see how he's so cool, the guy, you know? And then after the guy, this one was yelling, because it was a very small minority that was actually protesting.
Right,
the majority of people at Notre Dame itself were not protesting at all. They wanted him there, and the president gave an eloquent speech. Because, you know, he pointed out to people watching that President Obama is a very compassionate person, that he's not out for you to get an abortion. Nobody wants you to get an abortion, but the rule of the land is pro-choice right now. Well, and also the guy pointed out, and he was a priest, that, you know, there are things like capital punishment. They're not protesting those particular murders or torturing people. So Catholicism is not a one-note samba. It's a lot of issues, and this is just one note.
Actually, the sermon this weekend, even at my church, was about how people tend to pick and choose the thing that they want to extract from the Bible and then protest, whereas though, you know, there are many, like you said, many facets of following that Christian doctrine. I think, you know, the main problem that they had was with his stance on, you know, he was one of the loudest people not supporting the Infant Born Alive Protection Act. So that was something that was really riling up that one group, and the partial birth abortion.
He
actually voted present. He voted present. I don't know how you vote present on that. It's a very clear-cut issue there.
I mean, let's really be truthful. We're not going to resolve this issue. People have very, very strong feelings about it. You know, some people feel, well, if you're truly against all murder, then you have to go back and protest all the presidents who have sent people to war.
That's right.
If you're going to protest, you know, you really have to make a decision about where you stand. It's like, for me, it's like gay marriage. If you don't believe in gay marriage, do not marry a gay person.
Bugs me about the movement, though. They call it pro-life and then pro-choice. They should really call it pro-choice and anti-choice, because that is what it's really about. That's what it's about.
The choice for life is still, I mean, if you are
the choice is against choice.
Interestingly enough,
that's what the choice is.
For the first time in, I don't know if ever, there was a recent Gallup poll that has 51% of people being pro-life. So this is actually the first time that...
You know, it's interesting with that 51%.
I'm pro-life also. It's very much an insult to me, as a person who values life, to say that I'm not pro-life. Who are these people?
I am also pro-life.
Deciding that I'm not pro-life.
But I thought it was interesting with that Gallup poll.
Well, you're saying something different then.
They were saying
they should call themselves what it is, which is anti-choice.
Yes.
No, but I was saying
anti-choice.
Go ahead, Sherry, jump in there. Jump in there, Sherry.
No, I know.
Jump in there, damn it.
Just with that Gallup poll, they were saying that a lot of younger people now are saying that they're pro-life, and they don't know if it has anything to do with now. You know, before, 30 years ago, you weren't able to get a picture of the baby in utero. Now you're getting pictures of this baby and what it actually looks like.
When I went for my ultrasound at 16 weeks, you see, I mean, you are able to see so much that
when you can't afford the child, when you cannot afford to have the child, or you don't have the resources, looking at that baby doesn't make it any easier to make their choice. I am pro-life because I think people who can raise it should raise it. Now, I don't say, listen, maybe the Octomom shouldn't have had 43 kids. Okay?
But I do say, maybe we get it.
But see, no, maybe we got her. That is her choice. And if she is choosing to have 55 babies, you can't suddenly say, oh, well, maybe you shouldn't do it.
She's choosing to have 55 babies, and now I got to pay for all of those 55 babies.
That's how
when I go. Well, maybe we got to do something.
But here's the situation.
She's got the money to take care of those 55.
I feel the same way. If you can't afford to have your kid, I don't want you having one, and I want you to have the ability to say the truth. I really can't do this right now.
What about the people who do it based on convenience? I understand. Hang on, let me finish.
There are that many people that do it on convenience.
I hear stories all the time of women who are working, they don't want to start having a family. What about those people? And what about those situations?
They are not. Let me finish. They are not the majority. The majority of people who are having these abortions are women who go through hell to make that decision.
I am not saying that it's an easy decision, but I think there are convenience-based
boneheads
abortions as
everywhere.
well.
There are boneheads everywhere.
There are teenage girls out here. There are teenage girls out here who I have to speak to that because I was one of them. Who it wasn't a thing of where I didn't think of, oh, I can't feed this baby. I don't have enough money.
Did anybody teach you?
I was a teenager. It was just like
who helped you? Where did you go to get help to talk about what had happened?
I went to Planned Parenthood, and they actually were encouraging me to have the abortion, even when I had second thoughts.
How old were you?
I was 17, and I said I got second thoughts, but they were trying to rush me in there to have the abortion.
I have to say, Sherry, I don't know who you went to, but I'll tell you.
Planned Parenthood. That's
no,
what
I'm saying I don't.
Based on this actual theory.
Listen,
I'm saying I was a teenager. I wasn't thinking about all the other stuff. I was thinking I'm pregnant. I want this baby.
Okay.
That's what I was thinking.
And I'm glad you didn't have that baby.
I didn't
because
have the baby. Why?
Because why am I glad she didn't have the baby? Because she wasn't ready, she wasn't prepared, and God knows where she would have ended up if she had that baby.
Who knows that the baby couldn't have been our president of the United States one day? Or
yes.
Who knows that the baby couldn't have secured AIDS
she
one
could.
day?
Yeah, she could.
Always think of the negative side.
I suffer a lot of guilt.
Right, but I'm saying, who knows the potential of that child?
That's right.
Everyone always says that child would have ended up in a bad situation. What if that child would have ended up in a good situation?
Ended up
Hitler also. You never know.